What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again. We got episode 20 for you. That is 2 10s. We have made it to 20 episodes. And I'm back here with the usual dudes, Joel, Casey, and Joseph. And we're bringing on the Cali Death homies from Embryonic Devourment, Luke and Austin. What's up, motherfuckers? Tell us what's up. You know, like, we got history. We got mad history. We ran into each other many a times at the pound, but you guys cruised down from up north a bit. You guys made a lot longer trek to get to the scene that we were all, you know, partying together and shit. But yeah, I'm jumping way into it. But first, introduce yourselves, you know, talk about, you know, where you came from, what got you into this shit, and how you, you know, pushed Embryonic Devourment through the fucking underground and kept going up until now, dude.
For sure. You want to start with that, Luke, or you want me to?
I'll start with I'll start a little briefly with how I got into death metal. You know, I mean, I listened to my first Iron Maiden CD when I was like 7. My brother played in a metal band for as long as I could remember. He played the drums, so naturally I wanted to play the drums. By the time I was a freshman in high school, this dude was like, yeah, that old stuff's cool, but this newer stuff's cool too. Check out this Morbid Angel album. And so that got me my first taste of death metal back in like 94. And fast forward a little bit, I got my first drum set. About a year after I got my first drum set, I met Austin in a music class in high school. He was jamming out, and we had been ditching school smoking weed one time, and I found out that he was into metal and played guitar, and so we had talked a little bit, and then just one day I busted into the music room at high school and started thrashing on the drums, and he started thrashing on the guitar, and it was like magic.
So no previous projects for you before that, Luke?
Well, shortly after that, we started our first band together.
Okay. So that's where it was.
And then fast forward a few more years, he moved to LA, came back. I went to college, came back to the area we're in now. And we ended up starting another band together called Ye Olde Scabbard. And we sang about pirates.
Oh, dude.
Raiding.
Well, actually, before that, if you remember, Luke, we before I had moved down to LA, we had started Blue Puke.
Yeah, our very first project was Blue Puke, and
it was like punk rock stuff.
Hey, but
it was like a mix of punk and grindcore. Yeah.
No. We can't get too ahead of Blue Puke, dude. We got to break that down a little bit, okay? I'm interested. I want to know the origin of that band name, because I'm thinking to myself, like, what could I swallow to make it blue when I come back up?
Well, there was a me and Luke were jamming together, and all of a sudden there was this local show that was coming up in Laytonville, and we got asked to play it, even though we didn't really have a band name yet. And we kind of looked at the preliminary lineup of what was to be, and there was a guy on there, a blues player, and his name was coincidentally Blue Luke. And me and Luke thought it would be kind of funny to make fun of it, so we're like, well, we should call ourselves Blue Puke.
I like that. I like that origin much better, because I was thinking like blue Gatorade and milk, and like the blue milk from fucking Star Wars, like all that shit, drinking that and just puking it up.
Slurpees and Airheads.
Slurpee and Airheads, dude.
And and that was with a buddy of ours named Owen. Owen was the punk rock guy. He was super into punk rock.
Sorry, Austin, we're catching that feedback again, bro.
Are you?
Got back off a little, buddy.
Oh, okay. And so is that a little better?
Yeah, that works fine, dude. And we can still totally hear you, dude.
So yeah, that was with a guy named Owen, and he was like the punk rock guy. He was super into you know, just old school 80s punk. And I was into full on brutal blasting death metal already by that point. And so those two styles melded, and we kind of settled on kind of like almost like a punk grind type deal, almost like a early Napalm Death, but with sort of a comedy aspect to it.
This is still high school?
Yeah, this is pretty much still high school, yeah.
We were like 17. It was 1997, I believe. First time we started doing it.
Yep.
That's a good, I mean, I'm thinking of myself at 17, and I wasn't quite there to the extreme, you know. I was still like, I mean, I was listening to it, but with the music that I was doing, it wasn't as extreme. So I always give kudos to people that I hear like, oh yeah, dude, I was trying to be like Napalm Death in high school. That statement to me sounds like fucking, oh, dude, you were way more ahead of me because I was too busy trying to be fucking Slipknot when I was in sophomore year, you know?
Austin showed me Suffocation and Immolation, and just instantly like that Pierce from Within album.
Deeds of Flesh too.
And then a few years later, he showed me Deeds of Flesh, Trading Pieces. That was one of the first of the first 4 or 5 bands that he showed me, which were much more extreme. Deeds of Flesh, Ass Suck, Immolation, Suffocation. Those were all huge influences at that point.
Now that I'm putting the math together now, 17, I graduated at 17. So I was already totally bumping everything you just mentioned right there at 17. But you guys doing what you were doing at 17 to me makes me want to fucking say right on, dude, because I was like starting to think about doing the carnivorous stuff at that time. But
right.
It never really actually came to fruition until I was like 18 or 19, you know? So it's cool to hear these under 18 stories of like already being exposed to and trying to emulate that extreme metal sound, you know.
Rewinding even further though, like before the Blue Puke stuff, because see the thing is with me, I had actually I grew up down in LA, down in Los Angeles, and eventually moved up north where I went to high school and met Luke. But down there in Los Angeles, my dad actually played in a metal band down there when I was just a little guy. We're talking, you know, 1990.
What was the name of the band?
The band was called Anomy. Anomy, basically, the word itself means the state right before anarchy, right when everything's going into chaos. That's the state of Anomy. And he started that band with another guy named Jerry Duncan, who used to be in one of the pioneering punk rock bands called Legionnaire's Disease back in the day. I mean, we're talking, you know, mid 70s.
Wow.
And so I grew up with my dad in a metal band, and Harley Flanagan from the Cro-Mags, believe it or not, played drums in that band for a little while.
Wow.
And so I actually got exposed to that scene just being a little kid, not really knowing, you know, who Harley was or anything like that yet. You know, I just knew it was a cool looking dude that played drums.
A seed was planted.
And so I just wanted to be, you know, like my pops, you know, and play heavy music because it just blew me away. I thought it was awesome. So
and how old were you when did you go to any of his shows?
Oh yeah. I would always help my dad roadie and stuff. My brother would stay home with my mom, and my dad would take me along with him to help carry his gear and stuff. And I would always be, you know, watching him from the backstage area, kind of biting my nails and like just really tripped out by what was going on. And
oh dude, I love that, dude. How old are you, by the way, at this time?
But I think I was about 11 or 12, something like that. And then you know, I kind of started getting into guitar. I learned how to play what was it, Suicidal Failure by Suicidal Tendencies. I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. So I learned that song, and my dad, he had an issue of Music Connection magazine, which was a magazine that had musicians in there that were looking for bands and stuff like that, like a musician's classified. My dad pulls up this ad that says 13-year-old drummer wanting to start band. And he's like, check this out, son. You know, this guy wants to start a band. He's 13 years old. And I was like, holy shit. So I called him up and ended up meeting up with this guy. His name was Jesse Shadis. And this kid was the dude that actually showed me death metal. With my dad, although he was in a metal band, it wasn't death metal, you know? So he was like, check this shit out. This is Obituary. And I was like, whoa, dude, Obituary, what the fuck, you know? And he showed me, you know, Napalm Death, and we started jamming together, and we created a small set list of songs, probably about 5 or 6 songs, trying to emulate those types of bands. And so then, you know, just from him knowing other people in the scene, you know, friends of his that he went to school with, all of a sudden we get this gig with fucking Sepsism and Disgorge. Yeah. And that was at a club called Enrique's down in Los Angeles. And Matty Way was singing at that time. I'm not sure if Diego was in the band yet at that time, actually. I think this was a, you know, really early Discord show. And so we go on, we're playing, you know, we're fucking thrashing out, doing our thing. But the crowd is kind of like standing there with their arms crossed, you know, and they were banging their heads, but they weren't like fully into it, you know. And I was kind of tripped out by that. I was like, oh, what's it gonna take to get this crowd moving, you know? What are these bands we're playing with? And man, when fucking Disgorge hit, it was like boom. And fucking
you knew what they were all waiting for.
Yeah, and the whole crowd just start fucking circle pitting, going fucking nuts, you know. And I'm like, holy shit, man. I pulled my drummer outside and I was like, Jesse, dude, we gotta change our whole shit. The music we're you know, the music we're playing right now fucking sucks, dude. This shit's whack.
I mean, I just want to add to that is like Disgorge is that band. Like if your first introduction to Disgorge is live and you see the crowd do that, you're like, I do need to rethink my whole situation right now.
It was a total just mind fuck. And after they were done playing, Derek Boyer was outside because he was in the band at the time. Actually, he's just sitting there smoking some weed out, you know, sitting against the wall outside. And I walked up to him, and I was just a little kid, man. I was like, "Hey, dude, you ever heard of the band Obituary?" he's like, "Yeah, I heard of those guys." Fucking, you know. He's like, "But have you ever heard this? And have you heard this?" He's like, "Here, take a Disgorge tape," and he like gave me a tape, you know. And, from there, man, it was just like I never turned back after that, you know. It was just wanted to play the heavy shit after that, you know.
Speaking of Derek, real quick, I just said or posted that New Standard Elite's putting out that deprecated demo again, OG style, the OG recording. So everybody who has been hearing about deprecated on this shit that doesn't know, and if you do know and you want that original shit, you're gonna have an opportunity to get that shit in a physical copy from.
Nice. Is that the 4-songer Deriding His Creation?
Yeah.
I love that.
That shit's coming out. They're re-releasing that shit this year. I just found out today. I was super stoked. I mean, I got my original copies and shit, but it's just cool that like, because you can't even really find those songs online either, you know. So you want to hear it. It's like those new re-recorded versions or whatever. So you want the original shit? It's coming out this year.
Dude, nice. I can't wait. That's sick.
That's funny, Austin, when you were talking about like the same thing happened to me when I was basically into Slayer, Sepultura, Pantera. I was like, those are my bands. And my brother was into death metal. Like he was in the, you know, early scene, like playing and, you know, going to Morbid Angel shows, DSI, all that stuff. Once he saw me start listening to Deicide, Morbid Angel. He's like, "You're fucked now, dude. This is all you're gonna care about, like your whole rest of your life. Like this is all that matters now. Is all that Slayer shit's gonna go out the fucking window, and you're gonna see My Way pretty soon." And just like fucking 20 years later, 25 years later, I'm still just still deep in it. Like,
yeah, totally.
You know, once
like
you're in, you're in.
It's like it literally is just like your older brother just watched you put a needle in your arm. Like, yep, dude, you're fucking, you're hooked, bro.
Exactly.
I didn't put it in, well, actually, maybe he did. If you want to go with the metaphor even deeply, he did put it in, or he handed it to you. He gave you the syringe and said, "You make the decision, dude."
No, he was showing it to me, and he was like just dangling in front of me. He's like, I didn't like the vocals, so I was like, it's crazy music, and I would show it to my friends to shock them. I'd show them like "Kill the Christian" by Deicide or stuff like that.
That's a good shocker right there.
Yeah, exactly. Because just the name. I remember I got it off like Napster or something, and I was like, I just got the most shocking name I could find from Deicide. And friends would come over. I'm just like, I'd put it on like I liked it, but I didn't like it.
Oh man, when I first played that album, I literally had to press stop on the cassette because I thought I was evoking some kind of, like Satan was gonna fucking come. I had to call up my friend, like, dude, can you please come over and listen to this with me?
Can you listen?
Bro. I mean, that's some scary shit, dude. I mean, still, it
no doubt,
pretty scary.
Yeah, no, definitely. You believe it. I believe him. Like, it's like one of those, like when a death metal band that like you're listening to it, you're actually like, fuck, this guy's like for real. Like, he's not fucking around. Like Glenn Benton is like, you just see him with the burn cross in his head or upside down cross in his head, and just like his face and shit. You're like, that guy, that's the only guy in death metal that scares me. Like, that's like still to this day, I'm still worried about him.
We're terrified to have those guys on the podcast. Like, we're like, no, I don't even know. Yeah.
No, I'm not, dude.
I'm just, I don't want to see Glenn Benton work a webcam. That might worry me.
I want to be like, so how long did that process take, dude? Did you carve? Did you brand it? Did you go through the whole thing of like actually making the metal and then just stick it yourself? Did you have somebody else do it?
Yeah.
I want to dig into that. Not,
dude.
No pun intended. Dig into it.
Burning it. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's and some of the other bands actually down there, besides the Scourge that was happening at that time, like I said, Sepsism, those guys were fucking sick. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Sepsism, but at that time they were fucking crushing right along with the Scourge, playing all the backyard house parties with those guys. And there was another band too, a couple other bands. Deeds of Flesh was definitely rolling. Another band called Infamy was a big band down there. And another group that was sick as fuck, they're not around anymore, called Purgatoria. And they were actually a really big influence on me as well.
No shit.
Yeah.
This is SoCal?
Yeah, this is SoCal, yeah.
So you were pretty much around for the birth of the California death metal sound, basically.
I didn't know it at the time, but now being older, I'm like, wow, I actually saw those fucking guys, at some of those warehouse shows. Our band Demise, after we played that show with the Scourge, we started scoring some other shows. We played a show with it was Infamy, Deeds of Flesh, The Scourge, a band called Disembodied, and another band called Bread on Deception. And that was at like a warehouse with like skate ramps and all these punk rock kids going crazy. And I mean, just the scene back then was fucking off the hook, dude. I mean,
so just again, what years were these? Like the 90s?
I would say by that point, by the time the warehouse shows started rolling around, that was probably about 94, 95, I'm thinking.
Wow, so cool, dude.
Yeah.
I was
just a little guy, I mean, those guys were a little older than me, but because of my dad, I had got into the music a little earlier as a kid, and I was already playing in a band and stuff. And so witnessing that as just a little guy, and I when I say little, I mean, people thought I was a little girl, because I had long hair and I hadn't gone through puberty yet. And I just looked like a fucking, little girl basically, But
by the time Austin's doing that, I'm sitting in this small town where there's one video store that has some tapes in it. and you're lucky to find a Metallica album. I was lucky enough to have an older brother that listened to metal when he was my age at the time, and so I was able to steal all his tapes out of his old trailer. And that's what I had. You know, I was lucky to even have a Slayer Haunting the Chapel demo.
Fuck
where
yeah, you were
album,
lucky, dude.
You know, the album repeats on side B. But
that's kind of like the little nugget that my brother left me too. It was one side he put the Black Album on it on one side of the tape, and the second side was it was Effigy of the Forgotten and Broken Hope. But he put it on there to be like, okay, here's your little Metallica stuff that'll get you into it, and then like when you want to really like turn the page, flip the tape over, and like there you go, Effigy on the other side.
Funny story, very similar. This dude that first showed me death metal when I was in high school with 14, he gave me the Morbid Angel Covenant album, and so I bootlegged that onto one side of this blank tape that was like a nice like 3-hour tape, you know, 90 minutes on each side. So I had Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction on one side and Morbid Angel Covenant on the other. And so when I first started hearing that album, a lot of times I would just rewind the Guns N' Roses side just to hear that. And then as the years went on and I still had that tape and it's still holding together because you know how tough those tapes were, I was finding myself fast forwarding through the Guns N' Roses and
so now at your age, can you look at that homemade split that you just made between Guns N' Roses and Morbid Angel? Can you look
I
at
wish
that?
I still had it.
Is that still defining as Luke today? Guns N' Roses on one side, Morbid Angel on the other.
I'm not so much into the GNR these days. I've actually, in my older age, when it comes to like, I listen to like rock and roll and stuff, but now it's more like David Bowie type stuff.
Nice, dude. I'm
or like
that.
the rock end things. Like the old Motown albums and stuff like that.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah. Now you're talking my language.
I'd really appreciate that analog sound, especially the drum sound. Like
I can't get enough of Otis Redding, dude. Otis Redding.
Dude, Otis Redding, that fucking dude knew how to rock, dude.
Oh God, dude.
Monterey Pop Festival albums, like those live albums.
The live shit is the best, dude, because he's got the most energy during that shit, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you feel it during the recordings, but dude, the live shit is where you really understand Otis Redding, dude.
Absolutely.
We're in the weeds now.
So I was just gonna try to get us out of the weeds. So you guys started jamming, did some pirate metal, and then got back together. And then how did the name Embryonic Devourment come about?
Well, we just kind of turned a corner and decided that we were really wanting to be more extreme. The pirate thing was cool, but you know, a lot of the songs were like a little more swashbuckly, and we started writing heavier songs, and we had a more clear direction by the time 2003 came around, and that's when we really started recording or started writing the really heavy stuff. And
that's cool, because like now I'm realizing like your pocket's the same exact pocket for us, you know. Like I really got serious in 2002 with it for myself. Casey and Odious maybe a couple years before that, but yeah, it's like that seems to be like that give or take 3-year starting point for the next generation, you know. And that's super cool to like, just now I want to hear like, so what was it like for you guys starting in 2003?
We
starting to get it serious going in 2003.
Well, it was like, if you want to do anything,
you
need to get down to the city to play shows. And so you need to go to shows.
Oh yeah. So by the way, you guys are up Northern California.
Mendocino County.
What's the distance drive to the Bay to get to a Pound SF show?
A good fucking, 3 to 3.5 hours, maybe even 4, depending on, just you got to stop for gas. Sometimes you hit traffic. And I mean, leading up to that point, after, because I was down in LA, like I said, and but then what happened was my parents got a divorce.
Yeah.
And so my dad, he was like, well, I want to move up north. I want to move to the woods, far away from the fucking city. And I was like, whoa, shell shock. What the fuck? I'm gonna move to the middle of nowhere. There's gonna be nobody up there into the stuff I'm into. This is gonna suck. But so just went ahead and made the move with my dad and had to basically leave my band. I was like, hey guys, I gotta leave the band. And actually by that time, my bass player, he was this guy Joel, we kept it fucking, death metal for a long time, but after a while he was wanting to throw like DJ type shit into the mix. And I was like, no fucking way. That's not gonna, I wanted to have like a turntable in the band or some shit, and I was like, fuck that. So, anyway, so it's probably the right time to leave the band anyways, I guess, so when I moved up north, like Luke was saying, we met in high school, and so we started that band Blue Puke, played, there was only really one place to play in little old Laytonville, and that was the bar, playing for basically a bunch of drunks. And we played that out quite a bit, and we're like, shit, man, we got to get the fuck out and fucking, play some real shows. So yeah, for fucking, we wanted to get out and do some more shows. And we were kind of planning for that. And out of that frustration, I was just kind of like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm moving back to LA. This fucking place is weird. I'm out.
How long were you there before you said that? Or did that?
About a year and a half, I would say.
After he graduated, he went back to LA.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm going back to LA, and I'm going to start a death metal band. So, and be a big rock star. And so I moved back down to LA, only this time it was much tougher because I was pretty much on my own. I didn't have my dad anymore, that musical support and access to gear and stuff like that my dad had, that he was, letting me use. And so I had to do it on my own. Like, I got a job as a fucking telemarketer, basically working for people. Fucking peanuts. Yeah. And somehow saved up enough to buy a guitar cabinet and a head. And I started a band called Infest and Corrupt, and did some shows down there. And that was fun. And we were, making a little bit of headway, just, hooking up with other bands and playing some shows and stuff like that. But it just wasn't, I was just in another LA band at that point, and there are tons of fucking LA bands, and it just didn't seem like what I had with the band Demise down there. Getting in some of those shows with the Scourge and some of the bands that I really wanted to be playing shows with. So I said, well, fuck it, I'm moving back up north again. So moved back up north and kind of got into the, started acclimating more to the area, getting into the weed scene, and making money in that department back in the old black market days when you could make really good money doing that. And so then I hooked up with Luke again. Well, actually, right before that, I started a band called Cerebus for a little while up there. We actually did put out 3 albums under that name, Cerebus.
That's actually that's where we probably first met, was through that project.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. And then, you know, and Luke, he wanted to jam again too. So we hooked back up and we formed Ye Olde Scabbard, which was a pirate metal band. We wanted to sing all about fucking pillaging the fucking pilgrims and fucking, you know, going out on the ocean and making motherfuckers walk the plank and fucking, you know,
dude. That's
at that time too. We were pretty serious about the fucking pirate thing, you know.
Yeah, I never wrote about it. I never wrote about it, but I loved that shit ever since I was a fucking kid, dude. I think about pirate shit every fucking day, dude. At least one time a day, I think of some type of pirate shit, dude. Exclusive, Cali Death exclusive.
Fuck yeah,
dude.
Fuck yeah.
I never write about it, but pirates have been a part of my fucking life, bro.
Hey, Deeds of Flesh, they were all pirates, kind of.
That's why I secretly loved it, like that era, dude. Everybody was like, "What are they talking about, dude?" That's like, dude, I'm down.
Fuck yeah. When I first met Jacoby, he kind of seemed kind of pirate-like, sort of, you know?
Yeah, he totally does.
Yeah, for sure.
Jacoby is the most pirate I've ever met, dude. Out of every human that I've met currently today, Jacoby is the closest to a pirate you'll ever find, dude.
We used to know this dude in Ukiah that got scurvy, actually.
Wait, what?
Yeah, an actual person in the 21st century that got scurvy. I can't remember his name. I just remember back in like 2005.
Why am I thinking of that dude as like a celebrity now? Like, to catch
I'm not sure. I think he
a
still lives in
disease
Little
that
Ukiah.
a pirate would get, dude. I'm like, dude, that dude is fucking dope, dude. Like, where did he get it? Can I go lick that fucking napkin or whatever the fuck?
I assume that he probably just lived in his bedroom and never ate anything except for
because I mean,
Twinkies and hot dogs.
Isn't like vitamin C like vitamin C is like the number one shield against scurvy now. So just get scurvy and eat a bunch of oranges, dude. You're good.
You get it from not eating enough oranges and citrus type stuff.
Get some pizza. You got the tomato sauce.
Oh, right? Dude, you got it, dude. I wonder.
It's still junk food, but it'll save you from scurvy.
You got vitamin C, dude.
What the fuck does scurvy even do to you?
Oh, scurvy's bad.
I think it makes
barnacles grow in your armpits, dude.
Kind of like gout.
Barnacles grow in your armpits.
Joseph, could you please Google scurvy for us right now?
And your toenails and fingernails become patinaed bronze, dude.
Not good, dude. Haven't you ever seen Waterworld? You know, Kevin Costner's got that little freaking plant with the. It's like what is that shit? It's like an orange.
In a couple decades.
A lemon.
Man, they need to make a Waterworld Part 2. That would be fucking epic.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's mostly the swollen, bleeding gums thing.
Oh, I got that right now.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I brushed my teeth. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Waterworld shit. That was pretty fucking pirate.
Oh, definitely.
That's pretty pirate, dude. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Joseph, dude, we're deeper into the weeds, dude. You're supposed to fucking reel us back.
I don't mind this, dude. Yeah.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow one more rare disease.
I hear the word pirate, and now I'm talking about fucking patinaed fingernails. Dude. What the fuck is?
In the early days of the Embryonic Devourment songwriting, we were kind of steering towards what's brutal that's in like real life.
Dude, Luke, I think I remember some of the lyrics. It goes, traveling across the stormy seas, following tattered and torn maps. If you challenge his eyes shall shake, or you can choose to walk the plank.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know that shit.
Fuck yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
Floating bodies fill the air. Blood has soaked my hair. A musket ball has shattered my leg.
Oh, we got it started now.
Rum and kill with beer. Yeah, it's a good song.
You guys
How do you feel about
this? Is amazing.
Go ahead, Joseph.
Oh yeah, how do you feel about the like kind of new? There was like a pirate metal thing that happened like maybe 2 years after that, right?
With that band Ailstorm, I think.
Ailstorm, yeah.
I like those guys. They're cool.
Yeah, they're fun.
Wait, you're talking okay, and I'm not trying to act like bullshit. There's a pirate metal subgenre.
Yeah.
Like for real?
Well, dude, we toured Decrepit toured with Swashbuckle. They were
Whoa.
like they were signed to Nuclear Blast, and they were like a legit. I mean, they were legit. They were like joking. They'd be like, they'd play a show, fucking funniest jokes. Have like parrots come on stage and like running around, like stage diving shit, and they were just super fucking funny. And they were
stage
just like,
diving parrots.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, actually, I think what they would do is every show they'd be like, okay, who's going to be the parrot today? And just one of the people, the crew, or one of the bands could be the parrot or whatever. I think it was a parrot. It was something like that. And you just run on stage, and you just run into them, and then you jump off stage. That was like that was your goal for the day.
That's awesome.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me chime in. What do you think about bird-based metal bands?
I like that
dude, isn't there fucking I think there is a parrot-based death metal band. Yeah.
Hatebeak. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. And Caninus also with the dogs, the fucking dog
Caninus
band.
is my favorite. Yeah. That's one of my favorite fucking animal-fronted bands.
Didn't one of the vocalists in Caninus pass away?
Yeah, because there's two dogs. Yeah, one of the dogs passed away. Yeah, that was a while ago though. That's why
they stopped doing it.
Oh, dude.
Do a hologram version,
I'm giving it an RIP. I'm giving a real RIP, dude.
Yeah, no, I would listen to that shit. I remember back, I talked about this a couple times. I'd be at the gym and like listen to Caninus and be like pumping iron with like, bro. Everyone's listening to their fucking like cool music. I'm listening to fucking dog fronted metal.
Okay. Plug the song so people can actually hear the song that you're pumping iron
Brindle
to.
Brickheads. There's Brindle Brickheads.
Brindle Brickheads.
Brindle Brickheads and
Brindle Brickheads.
That's not even the best one. I know. Hold on.
There's some hits, dude.
Yeah, the hit was that might have been the hit.
I just want them to
no dogs, no
like
masters.
Imagine you
no dogs, no masters.
doing like butterflies, like.
Oh man, dude, pumps.
Oh no, Human Rawhide. That's the one. Human Rawhide.
Yeah.
Keep that. That's only 1 minute and 23 seconds, guys.
I prefer. I mean, that's just awesome. But I prefer the bird bands a little bit.
I wonder how they got the dogs to actually, sing into the mic.
They just probably just recorded them. They just recorded them barking and then like cut it up.
Totally.
Because how some dogs they get weird, like if you stick things in front of their face, like maybe they were just like freak out when you stick the mic in their face or something.
Probably like a room mic or something. Just
dude,
like
actually good. Yeah, no, exactly. Like what you're saying, Joel. Like, what if you just had a mic like at the front door and the UPS guy shows up and it just come like to the mic, it's like, and just like, yeah, dude, we got a good take. Like,
they got some good like snarls. It's still like, kind of growly. It's all like super. It's good though.
You're on the phone with somebody before, but you're like, dude, I gotta let you go, dude. I gotta set up recording because the post office is gonna be here.
In 25 minutes. No, dude, you just leave that shit on all day.
I know I'm gonna catch it today, dude. I'm gonna get the gold, dude. We're gonna have the fucking hit.
Yeah. The mail comes around 1. We better get that microphone set up.
Honestly, not that different from recording regular vocals. So.
Totally.
Oh, man. It's like, dude, I gave Anthony his tea, dude. He likes the honey. It's not at the right temperature, but I think it'll be working today.
Right, get the mic ready.
Here he goes, dude. He's in the position. He is taking the stance, dude.
Oh shit!
All right, so pulling it back.
So as we started changing our songwriting style, early on in the Embryonic Devourment days, it was like, what can we write about that's brutal in real life? And so like some of the early beginnings of some of our songs, there was like this news headline about this chick down in South America who lived in a very remote area, and she was pregnant. She went into labor and she cut her own baby out, like performed her own C-section on herself with like a knife in her kitchen. And her husband came home to find them both, and they both lived. And like the child's all grown up now, full grown adult, but
totally normal.
Yeah. So that, that song was, our vocalist at the time came up with the name Self-Inflicted Cesarean. And our vocalist Johnny at the time.
That is like a twist on that, it's like you could be a self-inflicted and abortion
and then,
or something like that.
When
Cesarean who brought life.
Yep.
Yeah. When Austin started taking over like most of the lyrical duties, he started getting into the reptilian thing. And so by the time our first full-length album was being recorded, he was writing a lot of songs about David Icke's Reptilian Agenda, which I'm sure he can tell you tons of stuff about.
Well, well, coming back to Ye Olde Scabbard, so we were doing Ye Olde Scabbard, and everything was going good, but I started really feeling the drums. I wanted to play drums. In Steribus, I had played drums, and with Ye Olde Scabbard, when I went to Ye Olde Scabbard, I was playing at that time guitar. When I went to Ye Olde Scabbard, and Lauren was playing bass actually, and I decided after a while I wanted to go back to playing drums, and so I left Ye Olde Scabbard and I started a band called Mummification. And that was with Adam Weber at the time.
Shout out Adam.
That's right.
Yeah. At the time, Adam played in a Bay Area band called Oxygen. And, but he was moving up north, as it turned out, coincidentally, to our area. So when I heard that he was moving up north, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to call that guy. So I called him up. He came over. I, had my drum set ready, and he hopped on the guitar, and it just clicked right away. And I mean, literally within, I want to say 3 to 4 months, we had a whole album worth of material written. So we recorded that. We went and actually we contacted Juan Ortega from Vile. We heard he had just started a studio called Trident Studios. He left the band Vile, or he wanted to focus more on his studio or something like that. Anyways, I caught wind of that, and I was like, dude, that's the guy. We gotta fucking go to that guy to fucking get the sick fucking shit. So we went and recorded with Juan, released that, and after we put that out, all the while, Luke and Lauren and this guy, another guy named Aaron Ludeman, they were continuing on with Ye Olde Scabbard, and then had decided they wanted to go in a more brutal direction. At that point, I heard that they had changed the name to Embryonic Devourment. And I was like, huh, no shit. Okay. Oh, they're going in a more brutal direction. So I, called them up. Hey, man, can I come over to a practice? I just want to hear what you guys are doing. Come over, smoke some weed, fucking check it out. And sure enough, it was brutal fucking blasting shit, totally death metal. And I was like, whoa, this is some fucking heavy stuff. I want to be back in the band. But Lauren, at that point, because I had left, switched to guitar. So he went from playing bass to playing guitar. So Lauren was like, well, we need a bass player. You want to play bass? I was like, sure, fuck it, I'll play bass. So that's when I came back into the fold. And then we got this guy, Johnny, to handle vocals, Johnny DeRoche. And from recording with Juan, I was like, guys, to make it sick, we got to go to Juan Ortega. That's the guy we got to go to make the fucking Embryonic Devourment shit sound fucking powerful. So we went to Juan and recorded 5 songs. That was the Beheaded by Volition EP. That was our first EP. And that was like super fucking gore based, violence and, Cannibal Corpse type lyrics. Just fucking emulating the lyrical content of the stuff that we, loved, and so did that for a while. We scored some fucking cool shows in the Bay Area. Played some of our first fucking Pound SF shows, hooked up with Severed Savior, did some shows with those guys. Really started fucking like immersing ourselves in the Bay Area scene. And yeah, we had to travel a great distance to fucking do these shows, but we didn't give a fuck at the time. We were like, fuck it.
Shit.
But anyways,
fucking. No, real quick, I was gonna ask you a side question because I'm hearing Cerebus, Mummification, Embryonic Devourment. Like, how many projects have you performed at the Pound with?
At the Pound, I performed with Cerebus a couple times there with Cerebus, with Mummification as well, and Embryonic Devourment.
That's what I was going to say, dude. I think I've seen all 3 of those projects there.
Oh, wow. Nice, dude. That's fucking sick.
Well, I mean, dude, you got to figure, like, I was there fucking every weekend. I'd go there on weekends that I didn't even know who the fuck was playing. I would just go there because 1 or 2 other dudes said they were going to, and I'm just like, all right, it's going to be a hangout in the back.
We were probably slamming with each other in the mosh pit, I bet, but more than likely, bro.
Austin, most of this, most likely for sure, it was one of those, like, we've definitely talked, we've hung out, and we just don't either like fully remember those specific times, but it's just like, there, I know looking at you that we had definitely crossed paths. No doubt, dude.
For sure.
With how many shows we went to, for sure, that's the first spot. And I when I hear Cerebus, I'm like, I know for sure that was an opening band on at least 1 or more shows I went there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were pretty much the opening guys. Yeah,
we were all the opening guys there, though. Odious and Carnivorous, we were all the opening bands on those bills. But it's still like, yo, we're on the fucking Pound stage, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Some of the most special moments we ever had were at the Pound, like in our infantile stage. Like we went to a Nile show, and the first time we saw Origin was at this Nile show, and it completely fucking blew us away. And
I remember that.
Yeah.
Fast forward like 1.5 years, and we got to play a show with Origin at the Pound.
Yeah.
And like, just so like those two moments were like really special to us.
That's a good feeling, dude, for sure. And actually, with that band specifically, Origin, Paul Ryan, shout out. We're gonna get you on here.
Fuck yeah, Paul.
At some point, dude.
Shit, yeah.
It's the Origin, going to see Origin at the Pound, and then being able to be on a bill with Origin at the Pound. You're like, it's that whole full circle thing that's all we're chasing. As especially at that age, that's all you're chasing. You want to be in the fucking race, dude, and you want to be in the camaraderie. You want to be on the fucking flyers. You're like, dude, that's my logo underneath fucking Necrophagus, dude.
Dude, fuck yeah. I mean, on that note, dude, Paul Ryan was one of the most coolest fucking dudes. You know, I mean, you meet all these bands that are coming through the Pound SF, and one of the guys that was really supportive of what we were doing from the very fucking start was Paul Ryan, man. I mean, he always was just ready and willing to talk to us, to help us out. You know, was always pumped up on what we were doing, you know, just really just willing to lend an ear. And I just gotta say, man, Paul was just fucking super cool, dude. Totally, it still is, man. And way cool guy.
We've touched on it probably a few times, but he's a transplant. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but he's a transplant in the sense that he came from Kansas over to the Bay and totally he put his roots in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And he is most 100% definitely part of the Bay Area scene for me through and throughout. Like every show I went to, Paul Ryan was there. A lot of the shows I went to, Paul Ryan was fucking serving drinks behind the bar and shit.
I remember that.
Yeah. You're like, he was fucking totally injected into it. You know, helped out so many of the musicians from the Bay Area, going to that Guitar Center, hooking us up, and blah 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 blah. It's just like he knew what's up with Cali Death, dude. And I love dude, going to his fucking apartment. He fucking showed us Echoes of Decimation, and you're just you're mind blown. You're like, dude, wait, how are you saying that you like my stuff right now? I'm listening to this right now, and I'm just like, why do you even care about me? Why am I in your apartment right now? Like, can I use your bathroom?
I just wanted to mention I've been listening to the Beheaded by Volition EP, which I hadn't heard before, but it's on your Spotify page, and I decided to start with it. and that shit holds up. I was super fucking impressed. And you got a kind of new fan of the old style, I would say. Just
oh, right on, man.
Days,
Fuck
I was
yeah.
like, I showed it to the band I was jamming with today at practice. I'm like, dude, check this shit out. We're having this band on the pod tonight. And they're like, oh, fuck yeah, this sounds sick. And yeah,
Nice.
that stuff, the production on it is very good. I can definitely see that it mattered that you went to, is it Juan over at Trident? Yeah, he definitely got you guys a good sound.
Yeah, we, right when we got that, right when Juan handed that to us, we immediately started going to the pound shows and just handing that out. And couple of the people that we ended up handing it out to was Bill from Decrepit Birth, and also Derek. Derek was going to some of those pound shows too, if I remember right. A lot of them actually. And Derek actually came up to me and was like, "Hey man, your guys' drummer for that fucking Embryonic album, man. We're looking for a drummer right now. You think Luke could do this?" They actually offered, Luke, "Hey man, do you want to try drumming for Decrepit Birth?"
Matt emailed me.
Yeah, that's right. And Luke at that time, I don't,
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just told him honestly, I was like, yeah, I know what your sound is, and I know that I couldn't possibly do it, especially not in the time frame that they would need. They need someone that's pro that can learn fast, and that was not me. I barely know what the hell I'm doing now.
I just remember thinking, like, just being so impressed with you, Luke, and just you getting that offer, was like, wow, man, those guys are fucking asking the fucking Embryonic drummer to do that. That's like, I mean, that was mind blowing to me. I was like, wow, because
really
we loved
fucking. But I would give more credit to Juan than me for them being impressed by the sound of that recording.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the drums are impressive on that record. I would definitely be like, yeah, maybe with a little work on cleaning up the kicks, because that's what Decrepit kind of needs. Like, everything else is already there. Like, I don't know. I could definitely see Derek thinking about it like that. Yeah.
I remember, Casey, when we first saw, the video of you playing a Decrepit Birth song on the drums, we were all fucking blown away. We're like, wow, there's a drummer that really learned that stuff and is actually playing it. How the fuck is he doing that? Like, what the fuck, man? I mean, we were blown away by you, bro. I mean, off the hook fucking drumming, dude.
Oh, dude, thanks, man. We played so many shows with you guys and had such good times over the years. I want
you remember that show we played in Modesto at that fucking like dusty ass
workshop
fucking house party.
Yeah, it was at the oh no, that wasn't what was that called?
The workshop.
The workshop. Yeah. Oh, for sure, man.
That was awesome, dude. Yeah. You guys even played a deprecated song, if I remember right.
We were playing Induced Deception, I think.
Shit was fucking brutal, man.
I think, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
man.
That was a fun cover to watch you guys do.
But I wanted to say
Suffo cover too, right?
Yeah, but I wanted to say though, with Luke, dude, like your drumming is sick, man. You have always been rad, like with all the shows we played, and I was, reviewing all of your releases as I usually do each week, and just like, god damn, dude, there's some really cool stuff. Like you have your own style, you have like sick stuff that you do. All of it's great. Like the drums sound great, like on all of your releases, they sound good, dude. Like and you have this cool patterns and it's fucking shredding and your kicks are awesome. I mean, I think it's awesome. I mean, I can totally understand why they offered or asked for you to join back then. Yeah, especially doing it like back then, it's like there wasn't a lot of drummers around that were like pushing it like that, So
I've only been like working on my actual technique only in like the most recent years. I used to really just kind of just let it fly and just throw shit at the wall, kind of, if I was painting, I would just be throwing shit at the wall and see what comes out. And every 20 or 30 times I play, there might be something that might actually be special. And, and that's a nice way to do it, but it's also nice to know what you're doing. And
for sure. Luke, I think you have a really artsy drumming style, man. It's like the Picasso of drumming, you know. It's just very
Totally.
Luke is a left-handed player, and he puts his ride cymbal directly in front of the snare, and so it's right there.
Yeah,
and so
sick.
it just makes for a really weird, fucking cool style, man. Don't ever downplay your drumming, Luke. It's good.
Well, there's this video we made last summer that I'm actually pretty proud of, because it was just a rehearsal that we videotaped and recorded on Reaper, and then we put the sound and the video together. And so the drums are one take all the way through, and the guitar he played with me was one take all the way through, and then we did another guitar track, and that's all one take all the way through, and then the vocals are all one take all the way through with no edits. And it's just all put together, and warts and all, there it is, with the best possible mix that I could come up with, which isn't that great. But I'm kind of proud of that performance, because that's that big monumental thing that a lot of drummers take huge pride in, is like, can you do it all in one take?
Yeah.
Without piecing it together.
Sure.
And
edits.
For me, that little video that we made is just proof that, we can do that.
Fuck yeah, dude. Respect, man. Respect a ton. And also, I wanted to say too that I think it's really important, like, from an artistic standpoint, like, you have your own sound, and you guys as a band have your own sound. And like, I was like, not only do the songs themselves sound different from each other, which is rad as a listener, like, you also, I'm listening to stuff, I'm like, I've never heard that before. Like, that's very unique. Like, that's so like cool. Like, I love that.
It's always been important for us.
Yeah. And you guys have been doing that for so long, and sticking to your art. So as an artist,
it's almost like you avoid certain things because it sounds like not necessarily someone else, but just
right.
So we try to avoid certain things we've heard a lot, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's sick that you have done a great job with that. Like, I think,
thank you.
Like,
is that like, does that come from like being part of like a loose collective or a loose scene? Like, you see, you know that you're a part of it, or you feel you're a part of it, so you want to contribute to it, but you don't want to just throw the same shit in the mix. So you're like, I got to give it my own flair before I throw it in. I'm with Joseph doing this book, and like, it's starting to inspire me to like think about like the evolution of the scene, and listen, recently, we'll do a plug real quick. Nothing's for no one. Nothing's for no one. Joseph was recently a guest on that podcast.
Oh, wow.
And, full disclosure, I don't really listen to these Cali Death episodes, probably because I don't like to listen to my fucking voice too much. So
absolutely.
But I was like, oh, Joseph's going to be on this podcast. And actually I am legit interested in listening to Joseph's, to hear Joseph from that perspective. And now I'm totally fucking not, I have no idea where I'm going with this. Help me out, Joseph. Come on, keep me going.
Are you plugging me, or you said
I'm plugging the podcast,
book,
but I was
the scene.
The scene. Okay, so yeah, being part of a scene in a collective, and not wanting to, if you're gonna eventually put something into this like little bubble, like, you want to make sure that it's like original. And I think that like the Bay scene and the California scene, like, kind of like, that was like the main thing with a lot of bands, was just like, we're going to contribute, but we have to have our own stamp on it,
Right.
It was when you start playing like dozens of shows or like hundreds of shows over the years, like, not to take anything away from any band, because if you're trying to do a band, then like, you should fucking do it. But when you start playing with a lot of bands and you start playing with a lot of support acts, you start to hear a lot of the same riffs, a lot of the same arrangements. And then like, those are kind of the ones you almost avoid a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And earlier in your path, you're doing more of the copycat stuff, or not even realizing it. It's like you get down, you know, a month into doing this song, and then you realize you got a fucking Gorgasm riff in there, and you're like, God, all right.
So you got to be more self-conscious.
And if you already even have it recorded, then it's even worse, because it's like, fuck, now it's out there, dude.
We've actually thrown away entire songs before, because we finished the song and we're like, you know what? That just a little too much fucking deicide in there, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? So
funny sidebar.
Toss it. We're like, fuck it.
After we had the name Embryonic Devourment for about 6 months, and like we were really like, this is the name of the band, we're going with it. We were a little late to the party finding out about the band Devourment. Like Austin brings us this album, Molesting the Decapitated, fucking great album. And he's like, check these guys out, dude. Been around way longer than you fuckers. What are you gonna do? So we're like, shit. Well, I don't know. We've already recorded material, and then at the time, I think they had broken up for a little while, so we just went with it. But you know, it was never started because of them, like that. The name Embryonic Devourment, like some people have thought. But they were always really cool. Mike Majewski was always super cool to us. And so, yeah, I don't know where I'm going
There's
with that.
only certain, there's a finite amount of words in the English language. And then even more smaller, finite amount of words that would work as a death metal band's name, you know? Yeah. Devourment is a very punishing word, dude. So it's you're working into...
I remember on my iTunes, I had Embryonic Depravity next to you guys.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
there's also an Embryonic Cryptopathia.
I'm just going to jump in real fast. So I was searching you guys on, looking up the metal archives, and it was all Embryonic Development kept coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's like so sweet.
Yeah, dude, we showed up to a show one time, and up on the marquee, it said Economic Development. We're like, what the fuck?
That's hilarious.
That is fucking funny.
Oh,
Economic Development, dude.
Oh, that's great, dude.
It's like a workshop. People are showing up like, I need to diversify my portfolio.
You came to the right place.
Guy shows up with like all his dreams, just like, I'm gonna do this, dude. This is it, dude. This is what's gonna get me in order.
God, yeah.
And then it really did.
And then we smoke weed with him, and he's like, what am I doing with my life?
And then he actually gets his shit in order after that.
Yeah.
So with Beheaded by Volition, that first EP, we started, pumping it out. People were liking it, at least in the Bay Area. So we're like, hey, let's send this out to some record labels, to see what we get, whatever. And ended up signing that to a small little label out of Spain called Grotesque Music. And so they actually started pumping that out throughout Europe, which was cool for us. We're like, shit, man, our first release, we're fucking pumping it out in Europe. That's fucking killer. So we were happy with that. We decided to start writing some, another chunk of songs. At that time, right when we started writing the next fucking chapter, Johnny had to leave the band. He started getting more, involved with starting a family and stuff like that. And so he left the fold, and we're like, shit, we don't have a singer. Well, fuck it, I'll start singing. I play the bass, and I'm pretty sure I can sing while I'm playing the bass. I'm just going boom, boom. So I started at that same time reading books by this guy, David Icke, who was writing all about this fucking reptilian race of aliens from another planet called Nibiru, just this big fucking plot to, how these reptilians are manipulating humankind and manipulating our leaders and basically controlling our world. And I thought it was a cool subject. And it wasn't a gory subject. It wasn't filled with death and Cannibal Corpse type stuff. And from that, I kind of thought, we could kind of use that subject matter and not be lyrically like a ton of other fucking death metal bands that are all Satan and gore based, you know, which is cool. We love that stuff, but we wanted to throw our own, you know, thing into the basket, you know, like you guys were saying.
Yeah, it really is. It's something that gets your mind flowing, you know, it gets just the creativity happening, you know. It's like there's no way I'm ever gonna know if Zechariah Sitchin can really fucking decipher all these cuneiform texts from the
totally
Sumerians from fucking 8,000 years ago, you know. It's like I'm too dumb, dude. I smoke weed all day. I make money for my family. I write weird lyrics and I growl them on a death metal album, dude. That's me. Okay. So if I'm going to be taking in all this information from all these different angles, it's like, I got to take it with like a defense of like, I'm not going to believe anybody, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I got my fucking dukes up the whole time, but Zechariah Sitchin he put it in a form to where it totally made me at least think about certain things.
And definitely.
And, you know, and I can't really come off the dome right now, but we sent some fucking probes out of our atmosphere that were going to be slingshotted out past Jupiter into the fucking unknown, and it has, you know, the golden record with all the fucking music on it, the plaque that has all this, all these symbols and other shit on it that will be able to hopefully be able to communicate with whoever it lands on their planet. I love that shit. That is all juicy fucking. I love. I read
absolutely.
Asimov when I was young. I read Asimov when I was young. I fucking love the alien movies.
It really gets you, you know, just that subject matter really gets you thinking outside the box, I think, which is the main thing, to be able to accept possibilities. It doesn't mean that it's, you know, we don't know if it's true or not or any of that, but it gets you thinking outside the box, you know. And that's what I liked about David Icke, was he, even in the beginning of his, you know, one of his books, he says, hey, you know, everybody has the right to be wrong, you know, but to think outside the box, you know, that's the true fucking, you know, to be able to think outside the box.
That's pretty much the genre of music that we're in, is pretty much thinking outside the box.
Yeah,
you know?
out of
much what it is.
Get as far out of the box as you can. That's what we're trying to do.
I was, you know, Austin, I was like, dude, like you brought up mummification. I was like, oh, we played a bunch of shows with you guys too.
Oh yeah, in fact, I have a flyer right here. This was actually, it was supposed to be with Decrepit Birth, but Odious Mortem ended up filling in because
sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
That was at the Gaslighter Theater.
Yeah, that's actually
Mummification and Embryonic Devourment, Sleep Terror, Meat Shits, and Decrepit Birth was supposed to play, but they couldn't do it last minute, so Odious Mortem filled in.
That was
Anthony's fucking sick show.
That was Anthony's first time on vocals with Odious Mortem.
Oh, was it?
Oh, wow. That's right. Yeah.
He did half.
I remember him being introduced that night. That's right.
I did half of the fucking, I did the last half of that set, and that was the first fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
I ever played live with them, dude.
No shit. Wow.
I've probably already referenced it, but I had a Chuck Liddell mohawk. What the fuck was I doing at that time?
He was pumping.
You look pretty fucking cool, man.
Want me in the band, like a Chuck Liddell, like I had like,
well, this sandals guy is the best.
A 0 and a 4, but he's got sandals on, dude. So it's
I remember thinking this guy's got some fucking punk rock cred behind him, man. This shit's fucking sick. Yeah,
I did love fucking punk rock for a while, dude. I'll say that punk was definitely a influential thing on me before metal, no doubt.
Yep, me too, man.
Yeah, sure.
And that's why I loved thrash so much in the beginning too, dude. You got the same kind of progression there.
Like, were you guys doing shows with Mummification and with Embryonic, or was that like separate?
At the time well, like I was saying, when I left Yield Scabbard to pursue drums, doing Mummification, Yield Scabbard, they kept going and then had a style change. They wanted to go more brutal and change their name to Embryonic Devourment.
Oh, okay.
And so we were all bros, you know, and I was like, hey man, Mummification's playing this show, Embryonic. You guys want to play too? And they're like, fuck yeah. So, you know, a lot of the times it was just like a package deal, you know, it's like you get one of us, you get the other band, and we're just supporting each other like that pretty much, you know.
That's awesome.
And in fact, that Embryonic Devourment logo, I actually drew. You know, we're just helping each other, just back and forth like that. And just ended up, you know, going back to the, you know, Embryonic Devourment. And I mean, that's, you know, pretty much where that happened. But yeah, Mummification, that was a great fucking fun band. Did a ton of shows, you know, with those guys. Traveled, you know, across the states many times. You know, and so, and coming back to Embryonic Devourment, you know, after the Beheaded by Volition thing, you know, I started getting into that whole David Icke thing. And I remember coming to band practice one day with the guys, and I had this idea, how am I going to tell these fucking guys that I want to sing all about reptilians now? So I fucking, you know, came to practice and I was like, guys, and this is the truth. I fucking, from reading that shit, you know, from just constantly reading those books, I had this intense fucking dream. Like just this crazy fucking dream about the reptilians, fucking, you know, just weird alienistic fucking dream. And came to the guys the next day and I was like, guys, we're switching all the fucking lyrical content to this fucking reptilian race from another planet, and fucking that's the way it's gonna be. And they're like, what? You're fucking high, dude. You're fucking smoking way too much weed, bro. Like that's fucking weird.
Actually, I am, but that's besides the point.
And so we wrote that, you know, most of that Fear of Reality album, Fear of Reality Exceeds Fantasy, about this reptilian race. There was a couple songs that were, you know, gore inspired, but it was more so most of the chunk of the material is written about this reptilian race. And we knew Matt from Decrepit Birth by that point, you know, because he had checked out our Beheaded EP and we loved, you know, his stuff. And he was like, hey man, you know, I'm starting a studio. If you guys ever want to record, fucking give me a holler. And I was like, I will definitely do that. So once we completed writing those songs, I gave him a call and I was like, hey man, we want to come down to Santa Cruz and record this fucking album. And ended up coming down. He had just this little studio set up inside this it was a storage unit, right, Luke? Pretty sure.
Yeah, it was in a storage unit complex.
Yeah.
That AAA?
And yeah.
Is it the same one? Wait. No.
What year was this?
This was 2007. We did this, I think, late 2006, early 2007.
I think it was 2006 actually.
Okay.
I'm actually on your guys' Metal Archives page for the album. It says recording March 9th through March 12th, 2007. So we're actually the exact 14-year anniversary of one of those days of that session. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wait, so I did vocals. I'm sorry. I'm kind of spaced out. Are we talking about working with Matt right now?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I recorded vocals for the first Odious demo that I did at the same fucking spot.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh wow.
That's right.
And Odious used to rehearse there with Decrepit, obviously, because
so that was the year. That's the same year span we're talking about.
No, you guys did 2007, 2005.
God,
4
we're
was
old,
the first
dude.
one, dude. I'm thinking it was 5 or 4 with the first demo that I did with you guys. It was 2005.
Oh wow.
I don't even remember that demo. I mean, I remember hearing, listening to it, but I don't remember where it was done.
I did that first 05 demo was there, that where they're talking about right now, and then the kitchen demo was the next one.
Yeah.
Nice, the kitchen demo.
Yeah. We literally actually just emptied out the kitchen and just Casey set up his drums in the kitchen and just actually had kind of cool acoustics and sounded good. It actually sounded
wow,
good.
that's great, man. Fuck yeah.
I thought you were about to say empty out the kitchen because they leveled it. You like helped.
It's not level. No, it's not leveled. By the way, it's still there. They're remodeling it.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, you made it sound like it was.
I know. Well, I didn't know. I drove by it today.
A pile of rubble, dude.
That's. I mean, it should be, but
why?
because it's like, dude, people are gonna die if like anyone lives there anymore. It's like the floors are like bending and shit. I don't know. We're going to, it's the Furniture Dome. It's like it's a place we used to all live and stuff, and odious crap.
If you brought it up, so they are remodeling it, but they're not destroying it.
That's what Shara. I actually went to Shara's new place with Jared from Archaic. I went there on Friday to check out their brand new place that they moved out of and went into, or they just moved into this place in Watsonville. And they said they're remodeling it and next to it's going to be like a Walgreens or something.
Is it going to be an apartment still?
They're just, some company bought it and just going to make it something else.
But
probably that furniture,
something
more
different.
Furniture store stuff, probably.
Okay.
Forever.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So.
No, we have to touch on that. We talk about it every fucking episode now, probably. Like the Furniture Dome is something that we always touch on, and you, Joel Horner, propped it up as something that was going to be like gone forever.
Well, it's emptied. It's empty.
And then you're like, no, they're remodeling, dude. So I'm like, wait, we can get somebody back in there.
No. I mean, maybe, but
if they remodel, it's going to be like, yeah, but you got to go 3 times the rent.
Yeah, I would assume they would level that place. That place has been there since the 60s or 70s.
I know. Who? Why am I even saying save it?
Why would you even spend money on that? I'm just, anyways.
So right, do you guys still live up in the North California right now?
Yes.
You guys are all up.
I live in Laytonville, in a more remote area. And Austin lives in Willits.
Where's Laytonville?
When Luke says remote, I mean, you know, he lives in the fucking mountains of Laytonville. Laytonville's this little small town surrounded by all these mountains, and Luke literally lives fucking like an hour out in the fucking mountains beyond Laytonville, pretty much. I mean, it's fucking secluded out there.
Oh no,
man.
I just looked up Laytonville, and it immediately brought me to the Chevron. Are you next to the Paco's Tacos?
Yes, sir, I am.
Oh, and Mendo Trim Tools. It immediately shot into a Chevron. Like on Google Maps, it's like, this is where you want to go, dude. This is
you have place. Located Luke.
Yeah, the only gas station in town.
You can get gas and sustenance here, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
like if you need to go to the Red Fox Casino, you can, but we're just chilling down at the Chevron. Damn,
that's the Red Fox. Dude, does the Red Fox get dirty or what, dude?
That's on the Indian reservation there. I should say Native American reservation, right there. That is a pretty cool fucking place. We used to go there back in the day with these fucking $10 match plays, and sometimes we'd be able to score a little bit of fucking beer money and go and get fucked up off those fucking $10 match plays.
Dude, I got my grandparents live on Cobb Mountain up near Clear Lake, and
wow, yeah, we know that's that.
Dude, Native American reservation casinos are what it's all about, dude.
Oh yeah,
you can you can get to some where it's like the ceiling's just as low as any other house, and people are just like, every slot machine has a cigarette puffing off of it, and you're just like, dude, I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I can't even fucking.
That's how Laytonville one is.
Like
this one for like 20 minutes.
Joel and I, we've been to Thunder Valley Casino a few times up in Lincoln, and that's actually like one of the more like Vegas feeling, casinos that are in California, dude. If you ever make it up there, go to fucking Thunder Valley.
They have cool concerts. They have like cool summer series concerts. They had Alice in Chains there. They had Mastodon of Primus I saw there.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I saw some cool shows out there. Just randomly they have these, like they set up an outdoor state, like kind of like a amphitheater thing, and they have 1 or 2 cool shows a season that come through.
Hey man, those casino gigs pay well. I played one with my dad actually. Sometimes I help my dad out, playing blues rock type stuff. And I mean, me and my dad went to this casino just right here in Willits and played a show. In about an hour and a half, I made $800. I mean,
nice, dude.
A fucking death metal doesn't pay that.
No.
At least in our band.
That's a tour.
Yeah, fuck yeah, exactly.
The net profit from a tour, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Between 5 dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, split between 5 dudes. It all goes back to the next shirt printing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, but it's not about the money, bros. Why are we sitting here talking about it right now in our fucking late 30s, you know? We're fucking,
as long as we make enough to print more merch, I'm happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just put it into the band, do the band stuff. As long as the albums get released and the merch gets printed, I mean, that's all. I mean, give me some shirts. That's pretty much what I want. Like, I want to wear like cool. I want to like I was on this. This is my shirt. That's it.
Yeah.
It's all about the memories for me. Like, our trip to Europe. You know, some of the best memories I'll ever fucking have musically is some of those shows in Europe.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it's not even the shows. It's just the times you had with the people.
Yep.
You know, every time you go on tour with a package, you know, you become like a little family, sort of.
Exactly.
And like, they're the only people you're around, really. The people in each town that you see are kind of like a blur, but then the one constant every day is the other bands on the tour. And
the traveling circus, dude.
You know,
Yeah, record labels are basically like banks that give you a loan with, you know, that's basically what
Joseph, I'm going to turn it on you real quick. Just side curveball question. Listening to your recent podcast, you said you've been on 5 tours with Transcending, dude. What's your fucking, tell us some cool stories about that, or one awesome story about one of those 5 tours, dude.
Oh, fuck. Well, so full disclosure, those include even tours as short as like four dates.
Dude,
so
yeah,
that's like,
all right. So we'll say 5.
What constitutes a tour,
runs.
by the way? What is it? Is it after 3 shows? Is it a tour?
I would say that's a good. But I actually have a good story about playing up in NorCal and in Eureka or Arcata, and
hell yeah,
we were going all DI on our first tour, no amps, because we're a fucking lame ass tech death band. And you know, there was a guy who said he would like do the door for us at this venue, and people kind of warned us. They're like, don't trust that guy, but he was like, yeah, I usually do it, you know, and I'll just take like 10%, whatever. And we're like, oh, we're total noobs, so whatever. And we play the show, and he gets super hammered and loses all the money he claims. You know, he's like, I don't know what happened to it, and like, but at the same time, we were going all DI, so we totally blew out the house PA. It was like smoking and shit.
There it is.
So we didn't tell them that, and we didn't ask for the money and make a big deal out of it, and we just fucking bailed the fuck out of there. So
it's like a karma situation.
Exactly. So, you know, ties to NorCal, and you know, we'll play another show and redeem ourselves up there. But yeah, dude, I love that area, and that's my one tour memory I'll share. And when we get the chance,
I was gonna say that place sounds like it wouldn't be able to survive after that, really. So you just took down that business, dude. So it doesn't even, you know, once the PA goes, they were probably like, dude, we're out, dude.
They had a bad business model.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to exaggerate. It wasn't like smoking up, but like it was a little like, what's going on? The sound's cracking, probably a speaker or something. But yeah. Anyway, I wanted to ask you guys if you remember playing the Blue Lagoon in Santa Cruz on 2013 show with Gorod.
Yeah. Yes.
So my black metal-ish band at the time, Forest Muse, we opened that show up, and I remember we're total noobs again, even noobier than what I was just saying. And I remember like Luke, you came up to me after the set because I was like taking my cymbals off before I was pulling the stands off, and you were like, "Hey, can we speed things up a little?" And you're like, "This is a death metal show," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, for sure, dude, you're right." And that I've lesson learned, never did that again, but that was my only time playing. No, absolutely not. You were in the right, because it's like there was a 4-band bill, and we were totally the kook noob, like slowing shit.
I've learned how to be nicer about those kind of things now, though. After working with the public more, you know, I can kind of tell someone something like that without sounding like such a dick. I'd probably sorry if I made you uncomfortable.
Oh, dude, that's the apology I've been waiting 8 years for. Just kidding.
That's the whole reason why we got this together, actually, dude.
No, I didn't think that you were, you know, being a dick about it. I think it was just probably the normal way that you say something
probably
like that.
Noticed.
I think, you know, when we play shows and stuff, Luke really likes to just make sure that shit is flowing smoothly as far as like, you know, the stage and the breakdown goes and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah,
I think at that point Luke was just in full on tour mode. You know,
were
like,
you guys on that tour or just playing that show of that tour? Do you
Just
remember?
playing that
actually,
show.
I think that at that point it was just that show. But just from
we gave Gorod a place to crash and a place to practice while they were on tour.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Gorod actually came over to our practice studio, and we let him use our equipment and our practice space so that they could kind of get ready for the tour they were about to do.
Up in your area in Layton?
Yeah, up in our area, just in Little Willits. They came to our fucking practice studio. That was really weird.
To start out the tour, and they did one practice, and then they jumped on the tour, and then they came back around at the end. I think that Santa Cruz show was the end of their tour. Like they were going back to the airport after that.
It wasn't the original part of the original tour. They booked it while they were out. I remember because I got the call from the guitarist of Inanimate I knew at the time, like asked if we wanted to play it, and they were scheduling it because I guess Gorod had enough time to do it. But how sick are Gorod, dude? They're like the coolest band ever, dude. I love that.
I love Gorod.
I was gonna just spin this into a quick story about playing with them at Maryland Death Fest. That was the first time. No, dude, that was a fucking sick fucking.
No. I talk about our performance or their performance.
No, Gorod was sick. We were.
Yeah, I'm gonna spin this from going to Gorod to talking about how shitty we played at Maryland Death Fest. That's the direction I was gonna go.
We just messed up one song. It's not.
I know Joel.
I'll tell you what, man.
Look at that set negatively. He'll always look at that set negatively. I think we fucking crushed the rest of that.
Joel's a perfectionist, and that's
we
cool.
were. Dude, we were at that time we were like super like, oh dude, we could totally do caverns. But no, I brought up Gorod because how sick they were.
Yeah, who cares about us? It's all about Gorod.
Side note, their bass player,
great.
Their bass player plays barefoot, dude. So what's up?
He's so sick.
He's in my fucking crew. Dude.
They had that female drummer too back then.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
Totally tore it up, dude.
So they're from France, right? Like yeah. Dude, I love Gorod so much.
We actually got to tour with that bass player in Europe. He was playing in a band called Nader Sadek. And Nader Sadek had ex-guitarist from Morbid Angel in the group at that time, along with Hannes Grossman, actually from Necrophagist. So I mean, we didn't even know he was going to be on the tour. When we got on that tour bus and saw that dude, we were like, oh fuck. Like,
can we gotta
step up our game, Luke. Shit.
It was one of the most intimidating tours I'd ever been on. I got Mike fucking Heller playing with Malignancy, and I got Hannes Grossman in here on the same fucking tour bus as me, and
you're sandwiched right in the middle, like what the fuck?
Oh man. Brutal.
It was really intimidating.
Well, obviously, dude, if you're on that bill, dude, you should be sitting right there with those dudes, right?
I hope so.
No, it already happened.
Yeah. No, Luke did awesome, man. You know, Luke, sometimes you downplay your drumming, dude, but you were fucking holding it down, brother. Shit was good.
The last 7 shows of that Europe tour were all pretty locked in, where every show, the whole second half of the tour, and that's how it goes sometimes.
That's a good feeling, right, dude? When you get in the pocket,
putting together a string of shows like that, is really nice.
And then to top it off at the end with Netherlands Death Fest, remember that? That was fucking pretty sick, man.
One of the biggest shows we ever played. We played at 1:00 on a Sunday afternoon in front of we were in the side room, like second band for the whole thing on Sunday afternoon, last day of the fest, and the place was packed. There was the side room had a 700-person capacity, and the whole place was full.
Was it the Neurotic Death Fest or the Netherlands Death Fest?
It was the Netherlands Death Fest, the second annual Netherlands Death Fest in 2017. Yeah.
I remember actually the last time I hung out with Hannes, we played. It was like in some part of Germany, but it was like a last-second venue change, and we it was like Cryptopsy, Decrepit, Unmerciful.
Wow, nice.
It was Munich.
Munich, and there was probably like 6 people there.
Yeah,
And
dude,
because it was like a last second, and remember, like Matt was all jamming out, like all stoked, and he was all fuck yeah, and like flicked out his pick.
Yeah.
And then like after everyone left, like we went out, we were all drinking, like and we just, and I was like, hey Matt, here's your pick, dude.
Yeah, he's like,
I knew exactly where that was going, dude.
It's so good.
Later on that
Found
night,
it on the ground. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's just right there. I'm like, hey, here's your pick back, dude. Here you go.
Matt Sotelo. Yeah, dude, I got a funny story about that. So like that particular like club venue place, like they had like showers, but there was like the upstairs showers that had heat, and then there was like the downstairs ones, and it got like before the show, and so like like they ran out of like space or heat, so they started sending us to the downstairs shower. So I'm like, okay, cool, and I'm cruising down the stairs, and I hear someone screaming, like what the fuck's going on? And I come in there, and it's Dan taking a shower at that venue, like downstairs in the freezing cold.
Oh, you're saying heat
soaping up
cold
and then
water.
He would go in the freeze. He's like, the cold water. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like
whatever it takes to be clean.
Yeah. Then I did it too, and it was just like, it's so cold. You just have to go for it.
Your wiener just gets a little small, and you just got to yell it out, dude. That's how it goes.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was so funny. And then we were hanging out with Hannes a bunch, and that was a funny ass show. But it was a cool stage. Like it was
a red stage, but it was just like
no
one like knew we were there.
No, we did one of those kind of shows in Europe too, man. There was one particular show where there was pretty much no one there. Yeah, like you said, probably about 5 or 6 people. In fact,
where was it?
Just may have been
Germany.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere on a Monday.
We felt bad, I think all the bands felt bad for each other. So while Malignancy was playing, all the bands fucking decided we're gonna go pick up Danny from Malignancy and fucking make him crowd surf. So all the bands just went and grabbed him off the stage and just fucking tossed him around the room and shit, and just like kind of made our own show out of it,
It became a tradition we did every night, where someone would crowd surf. The tour package would just like make a couple people crowd surf.
Totally.
Like
those are actually
for the whole rest of the tour. I think we did that.
Those are some of the funnest, actually, like underrated shows where there's just no one there, and the whole package is there, and just like everyone's like, "Fuck it, let's have fucking fun. I don't fucking care."
Yep.
Like I remember one time we
it's like a day off.
Suffocation. We were actually we weren't even playing, but it was with DRI. And it was like probably, I don't know, 20 people there with DRI. And we're like, the whole tour package, like we showed up there because it was Jackson, Virginia. And we're like, you know what? We're going to go see the DRI show. We have a day off. Let's go fucking party with them and hang out. And we go there and there's no one there. And we're like, fucking tour package mosh pit. Just got the whole tour package in there and just fucking crushed that pit, dude. Just like fucking like everyone, just going backwards in the pit with like Terrence and shit. And just like, they're just like ripping it apart.
Fuck yeah.
So much fun. It's like one of the ones I always look back on, but it's not, we played for the big sold out ones, which is cool, but like the fucking the shitty no one there ones,
that's where you become family, those are the family moments right there, dude.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely one of the more, it's where you guys all like basically combine and you're like, this is fucking whatever, let's have fun. And then we played with bands before that are like, we're not playing, blah blah, and we're like, we're fucking playing. Like there's a one guy here. We're playing for that. We're playing for that one guy, dude. Like we're gonna fucking play. Even if we don't get paid, we're here. We're gonna fucking jam out. This one guy is psyched on seeing us. Let's fucking jam.
That dude's gonna comment on your podcast YouTube video. He's like, I was that one guy there, dude.
Oh, I remember there was it was 2 guys one time, and they both had like odious stickers on their heads, and they were just like,
oh shit, I remember that.
Yeah, like in Rochester, New York.
Right.
Yeah.
Austin's mentor.
It was like a arcade or something, right? We played like an arcade.
Yeah.
Rochester.
It was a last second venue change. But
then you think about like Lethargy, which is pre-Mastodon. That was right there, dude. Rochester, New York. That's where. That's probably a venue they fucking played.
Oh yeah, that's the Penny Arcade in Rochester. That's actually a pretty well-known spot.
Did you guys say you played out in Rochester, or have you guys done shows out?
Well, we have played New York. I don't think it was Rochester. The place we played was like, we show up to this fucking place and we're like, where's the club? It was just a vacant lot. And the guy was like, oh, well, the club is down here. It was actually underground. So fucking walked down this flight of steps underneath the fucking street. Damn. And it was like, looked like a fucking sewer box or some shit. Like mirrors on the ceiling that were all broken, and we're like, wow, this is New York, man. Fuck yeah. No, but I was just gonna take it back to we went to record with Matt.
Yeah.
And fucking we get down there, and it turned out that it was a way different recording sound and experience. In fact, compared to with Juan, Luke wanted to sound more natural. He wanted a more natural tone. Juan wanted, to trigger everything, and that was that like high tech fucking sick death metal sound. But on the Fear of Reality release, Luke was wanting to go a little more natural, and Matt actually agreed. He's like, dude, Luke is a really, artsy guy on the drums. People should hear that, and let's just go with this like natural drum sound, and so that's why the Fear of Reality album came out sounding the way it did. We just kind of went with a more natural tone. Luke fucking used, I think, a piccolo snare on that one, didn't you, Luke? Or
it's a pork pie. It's a 12-incher.
Oh, was it? Okay. And
it's the same thing I used for this last album.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And so yeah, we got to record with Matt. That was super fucking cool for us, because I'm not sure how many other bands he's recorded, but yeah, he got to fucking. Our
first album. He did Devouring.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in 2004 in March, we recorded with Matt. Yeah,
and then you guys.
There's that band Element.
Yeah,
yeah, and then
Element. Yeah.
Well, Matt and I, yeah, exactly. That was an interesting process. Yeah.
Did you play drums for Element?
Yeah, I did that recording. And
wow.
What was the dude's name? I'm trying to remember everyone's name.
Adam or something. I forget his name.
But yeah, we did it at AAA Mini Store, like in that practice studio.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
sweet.
Makes sense then. That's where
is Mason.
Mason, yeah,
Mason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mason was there, but that was it. And then the rest of it was worked out with them. I just
whatever happened with that band.
They're just like pulled my shirt, and I just played a drum beat. They pulled on my shirt.
Totally.
That's my job.
Whatever happened with that band just disintegrated after that, right? Mason.
I don't know, man. But I loved their music though.
Yeah, they did an album called The Energy, where he programmed the drums.
Oh, okay, I don't know if I've heard that. I should check it out.
Yeah, awesome. That was 2010.
Sick.
And that was Mason's the last thing they did. Mason Gregory.
Okay. I'm going to look him up and hassle him on Facebook.
Fuck yeah. Okay. So, then how did the Fear of Reality album get accepted or received, I guess?
Well, we had Tony Cole do the artwork, and so then we sent, some CDs out to some record labels along with that Tony Cole art, just trying to shop it around, see, what it would do, and ended up scoring a little record label deal with Deep Send Records, and so they were doing some stuff where they were putting out some Gore Guts reissues. Another band called Despised Icon they put out a few other pretty cool death metal releases as well. In fact, they released Ulcerate. I don't know if you guys have heard Ulcerate.
Oh yeah.
They put out some of the I think one of the first Ulcerate out. They did the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I remember Deep Send Records on a few really. I can't put all the bands together, but definitely was one of those record labels when you're flipping through CDs, you're like, oh, Deep Send Records. I better check this, look this over a little more thoroughly. I might.
He had a thing where Century Media allowed him to re-release certain albums on vinyl, where they weren't really putting out vinyl albums at the time, and so they were like licensing him like one album at a time to just do a one and done.
I may be speaking out of turn real quick. Sorry, there's a Cryptopsy album that was also put out, re-released. Blasphemy Made Flesh. I think there's a re-release on Deep Send as well. I'm sorry I'm on my fourth beer, Luke. I'm sorry, dude. I just started. I just hit the gas, dude, and I'm like, if I run over, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, dude.
I think kind of like our whole how our fucking podcast works is that me and Anthony just get progressively more drunk. I think that's kind of like how it works now.
Chevron parking lot.
Fuck yeah!
I've got this highway patrol sitting at the gas pumps behind me right now. He's probably.
Fuck yeah.
It'd be a great time. I'll do live on the podcast, getting arrested.
I was actually, I was thinking, like, while you were sitting there, I was like, dude, you were talking about lighting up that joint. Like, what if you lit it up the worst time and a highway patrol, and just keep it rolling though. If it happens.
I actually just had it in my hand, and I looked in my mirror, and then I stuck it back in my little stash spot here.
Just don't look at him. Or stare at him. Stare at him. I'm just kidding.
It's all good.
I mean,
actually,
what we're saying is we want minimum charges, but if it happens, dude, thanks for the views, bro. No, I'm just joking.
That's fucked up.
I'm just joking. Obviously, I'm joking.
Just ask him if he knows about Cannibal Corpse.
Ask him what bands he's listened to.
Yeah.
Austin, I admire your dedication to the Cali death history, dude, and like keeping us on track, because you have a lot of history and it's keeping this podcast going. It's fucking fun, man. So if you want to keep us on track, go ahead, dude. I'm giving you license.
So yeah, with that Fear Reality album, it got signed to Deep Send Records, and then we just started, I additionally started, promoting it myself. I just decided, hey, why does only, the record label have to do this? I'm going to fucking help out the record label. I'm going to fucking send it out too. So I was, with the albums they gave us, I was establishing distribution deals with all kinds of other labels, including Unique Leader. We weren't on Unique Leader, but Eric was happy to fucking take some albums into his distribution, and I sent some, to Nuclear Blast, a bunch of fucking labels all over the world. Just did trades with bands, stuff like that, and just kept pumping it. And then we did another album after that, Vivid Interpretations of the Void. And at that point, we went ahead and signed a management deal with EMG Management, which scored us a fucking awesome tour with, it was Decrepit Birth, Origin, Cattle Decapitation, Aborted, Rings of Saturn, and Battlecross.
Wow.
So we got to go on that tour, man. And that was like, holy fuck, man.
Super stacked.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
That was a really fun time. It really did, but it was good for us, the Vivid Interpretation era. Very memorable time for me in our history, at least.
So for a stacked bill like that, was it a Summer Slaughter or something like that, or what was it?
It wasn't a Summer Slaughter. It was called Occupation Domination.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And did a fucking big long string of shows with that, and that really fucking opened our eyes to how to make a tour run smooth, and how to help each other out, help all the other bands. They would help us out, just really absorb that family dynamic. And fucking cool tour, man. Just, made a lot of good contacts on that tour. And
yeah, dude, the camaraderie.
Got to watch our heroes work, every fucking night, man. It was awesome.
You're learning, you're broing down.
He just broke down too hard, dude.
He's out. Look at that. It's just lost.
It felt like we were in fucking in class, It felt like we were in death metal school or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
You want to make a good impression, so you try to help out as much as you can, making the show go smoothly, helping the other bands load on stage, especially the headliners.
Yeah.
All the drummers had their own drum set for the 7 band bills, sometimes with openers. So there was a lot of work to be done, and it was a real good opportunity for us to cut our teeth, and for a lot of the people involved, they've never been around us before, so they get a good first impression of us, being team players for the tour, helping out however we can.
Totally.
And we continued that, you know, with our tour in Europe in 2017, where, you know, you just work hard and you just show that you're there at the back of the fucking the gear trailer every night, fucking every afternoon to load into the venue, and every night after fucking we're done to pack it back in, and you're there and you're doing that work, and people will notice it.
Yep.
And
one of the things we did was we brought a shit ton of fucking weed. Fucking just like,
yeah, that'll do it.
We're throwing weed everywhere, man. You know, just to all the bands, just smoking out everybody as much as we could. You know, just fucking. We wanted to be the weed guys of that tour. You know, so felt like we contributed a good amount of THC.
When you're like a you know, opening band on basically like when I jumped into Decrepit, we got that Black Dahlia tour. Like really, pretty much, I had 2 weeks to practice. I'm on a Black Dahlia Murder tour, and it's already sold out. Every show's already ready to go, sold out, and we're like these fucking like rookies, pretty much. Like we've done a bloodletting tour, and that's about it. And like all of a sudden we're on this like
2 weeks to practice for that.
Yeah, because I remember I had to. I mean, I did, but you had the hard job.
My memory is pretty good.
I had. I mean, you had the hard job. I had the bass playing job, but I was like,
whatever. Yeah, it's so crazy.
It's just crazy, like, and just jumping into the whole like how everything works on a professional tour with set times and load in, getting your stuff off in time for the next band. Like that was like really important to us, just not being that annoying band that kept people like, or fucked up their set times, or you know, we toured with other bands that were like, and I'll call them out right now because I love them. Flesh God Apocalypse, one time we toured with them, and they were still so new and green, and they were like going over the set times and blah blah, and then like they were making all the like mistakes in the beginning, and they jumped on par, and they started, you know, basically getting their shit together. I see them 2 years later. I'm sorry, 5 or 6 years later, and they're like the most professional band I've ever seen. I'm like,
wow.
Like I saw them live. I saw and the drummer is now the singer playing guitar, one of my bros. And like I like watched them up there, and I was like sitting there with my mouth open, like, you guys are fucking so good, like so professional, and your whole stage show has a whole, like, there's like in between songs there's classical music playing, and like he talks to the crowd, and I'm just like, holy fuck, you guys are the best live band now. Like for like having your full like stage show together. I was like, I went backstage and was like, you guys are fucking amazing now. Like, but that's one of those things, you need to be thrown to the fire. You need to be yelled at. You just need to be embarrassed, and then like you'll just not do it again. You know what I mean? That's just what happens.
Totally.
That's just
the
what
equivalent
happens.
of bombing as a comedian. You got to bomb.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. You just need a bunch of people to be mad at you for a little while, and then you'll not do it again.
Oh, dude, I've never been embarrassed in my life, especially in music on stage. I've never been embarrassed ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much when you get thrown into the fire like that, and you get embarrassed once in front of a bunch of eyes staring at you, you'll never do it again.
You know how many stupid jokes I made in between songs where I'm just like, oh, what a fucking idiot.
And you gotta like
going into the next song like, you fucking asshole.
I recall one of our toughest shows, one of our probably worst shows was maybe because, and the reasons why it was one of our worst shows was the LA Murder Fest. Remember that, Austin?
Oh man,
we all stayed up way too late the night before, and a couple of people in the band probably partied a little too much. But the worst thing was that we were in this parking garage like all morning the day we played, just breathing exhaust fumes, and then we go on stage, and there's like 200 people packed in this room, and we just played like shit. And the worst, it was the worst part, because it's like, this is your chance. You're in LA and the show is packed, and fucking this is it, dude. You do good here and you'll fucking get more opportunities. And it didn't happen for us that night. It sucked. And so that's.
Did you finish all your songs during that set?
We played through all our songs. Yes, we didn't stop, but you know,
you got that for you,
dude. Yeah. There was definitely some bad spots while we were playing, like us looking at each other while flailing, like, what are we doing? Where are we? I have no idea what you're doing. I can't hear you.
Yeah. That's the ropes, dude.
That's the ropes. Yep.
Yeah.
But, you know, and fast forward to like our last tour last year with Internal Bleeding. And like, for me personally, I thought it was one of our overall best tours from top to bottom because, you know, the turnouts were decent pretty much every night. Our merch sales were good. We didn't have any merch left when we got home from tour.
Fuck yeah.
And our performances were pretty solid almost the entire tour. The only downside was some vehicle problems, but we didn't miss any shows. And so, and we all got along. There was no arguments. There was no arguments with anybody back home while we were gone.
Even with vehicle problems, you still held it together. That's when you know things are good.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. When shit's going wrong with your car and you're making little to no money and you're stuffed in that van with all the dudes and you guys can still hold it down.
Yeah.
That shows a lot, you know, because believe me, dude, it's easy to get fucking short and irritable in car situations. Problems.
Every part of your personality spectrum gets exposed on tour. You know, you'll be at your happiest and then you'll be at your unhappiest, and you have to like share that with the people in the van with you without wanting to kill them or without them wanting to kill you.
Exactly. No, that brings out
an effort.
Brings out all the. Yeah. Sorry.
I was so trained for the severed thing, even though I've never done many tours. You know, I've only done 2 full scale ones. I was trained for the severed one simply for the fact that I just grew up with them and knew that, not grew up with them, but like in the scene. My whole progression was with them along my side, you know, and then eventually being in the band. And so the van situation there was totally chill the whole fucking time, even with Oleg. And even it's so funny, our merch guy was a guy, James, who went to high school with me. So it's like I had everybody in there that I was like, I'm good. No matter what happens, like this little bubble that's in this van, as long as we keep this bitch on the road, we're good.
The best part, when you know like shit's like going so bad that you could just sit back and just laugh about it and have a good time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's the best. That's like, you know, like it could be more stress, more arguments, more whatever, or we'd be like, this is ridiculous. This is so bad. Like, let's go have fun. Fuck this, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Shit, I remember the first night of that fucking Occupation Domination tour. Fucking we played in Texas, and me and Lauren, the guitar player at the time, were just fucking drinking after we played. We were so stoked to be on that tour, and we actually played a pretty good set that night. We're just like, fuck it, let's get fucking drunk. Let's fucking celebrate, bro.
Yeah.
And man, the next day, both of us were just fucking puking the whole entire fucking day, right up to the point of the show. I literally went up on stage and I was like, you know, off to the side, fucking puking. And yeah, I mean, you learn pretty fucking quick what to do and what not to do. I didn't do that again for the whole rest of the tour, man. It was like, fuck.
Yeah. Mid-set, don't take a shot of Jaeger. That'll definitely make you like during the next song, you're like, I might throw up right now, but I got to keep going. And you're the vocalist, so you're doing vocals like, I feel like I might throw up. As you're doing fecal philiac, call back, shit addiction.
You just poop your pants, like
fucking poop your mouth.
You guys ever fart up on stage?
Wait, wait, real quick. I just have to re-quote Joel here.
Back into hiding.
Fucking poop your mouth. Fucking poop your mouth.
You guys need to get Schizo on the Cali. They're not really Cali death metal, but you need to get Schizo on the podcast and just talk about puke for 2 hours.
We'll do that as a bonus episode. I think that one will last about 3-5 minutes, maybe.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So yeah, fucking, you know, after the Vivid album, we needed to finish out our contract with Deep Send Records. We owed them one more fucking album, so we recorded Reptilian Agenda. Went with that name because that's the fucking name, that's the term that David Icke kept using throughout all his books. You know, David Icke actually caught wind of it and fucking invited me and the guitar player of our band at that time to one of his fucking seminars. We got to fucking go and meet David Icke. He's like, so you guys are this weird fucking band that's talking about my books. You know, I've been talking about his ideas and stuff for fucking years, and finally meeting him and him giving me the go ahead to you know, further talk about his stuff was awesome.
Could we ever get Obi to meet Ray Kurzweil? That would be rad.
Yeah, that would be rad, dude. Now that you think about it, totally, because I put Obi and Ray Kurzweil in the singularity in the same little pocket, because that's the person who shepherded that information to me, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Obi was like, check out the singularity is near. And I was like, oh shit, I had no idea this kind of thought was happening right now. And I'm still, don't even try and get 3.5 beers. You guys are going to try and get me to talk about the singularity right now. Come on.
No, Anthony, no one's asking you to talk about the singularity.
Joseph, you're demanding it right now. You're fucking, I feel like I'm letting you down.
I want you to talk about a multiplicity, no single anything.
Oh, dude, the multiplicity.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I can go on that for 3 more hours, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah. But yeah, dudes, this has been, I think are we caught up? Can we talk about the album that you guys are working on or finishing up?
Yeah, we have 8 new songs that we're in the process of recording. Luke has already recorded his drums. We decided to go back with Juan.
Sick.
Yeah, you know, just because he's been there for us throughout the years. I feel like, you know, he kind of understands us, and we're at this point we're just not too scared and nervous to work around him. You know, when we went and recorded with Matt, you know, awesome experience and everything, but at the same time we're like, fuck, we gotta play our instruments in front of this guy. This guy's the master. Like, fuck, man, shit. So, but with Juan, you know, it's really super comfortable with him because we've been recording with him for years now. And so yeah, Luke has finished all his drums. He played it all to, you know, a click map, which was really hard for us to kind of figure out how to do. We've done it before. We did that with the Reptilian Agenda album, but this time around there was just a bunch of weird tempo changes and shit that we had to figure out, and Juan really dug in there and figured out exactly what Luke was doing, and, you know, adjusted tempos here and there and just really made it work for us. And then I went in and I've recorded guitar tracks for 5 songs so far. And I'm supposed to go down next weekend and record the final 3 tracks, all rhythm guitars. And then I'm going to be doing the bass guitar myself and also the vocals. And then I want to call up, you know, just some friends and guests to come do guitar solos on the album. So I'm trying to see who I can get to do for that, just to kind of, you know, mix it up on the solo aspect. I'm not a very good soloist, you know, so
that's fun. That's still fun. Yeah, you know, bringing in homies to do stuff on your shit is always fun, dude.
Yeah, you know, all the rappers, you know, they're always calling up their homies,
totally,
like, hey, we want to feature you on this track. And it's like, man, metal needs to do that more, you know. We need to fucking call up our homies and fucking, you know, collaborate and shit.
We've talked about that before here, that it's happening a little more.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, exactly. It's happening more and more nowadays.
Solos and cool vocal spots, but yeah, definitely both. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like this new stuff we're writing, even though it's just me and Luke now, pretty much, you know, and there's a couple different reasons for that. And one of the good things about it is that me and Luke have really been able to just like, I'll churn out a riff and Luke's like, boom, here's the drums for it. And that's that. There's no question with other instrumentalists in the band on trying to explain the feeling behind that riff and why I want to play that riff. And, you know, there's no, so it's just, it came together really good. And I feel like this is definitely the strongest fucking material yet. It's just totally brutal, sick, fast. Lots of, you know, weird tempo changes. There's songs that are super catchy, and then there's songs where you're like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Like, that's some weird fucking jazzy shit right there, so just, it's a really good mix of all the elements from all our past releases and this new style that's happening with me and Luke as a two-piece. It just, I'm really digging it. Like, this is the first release of material where I feel like, hey man, I would buy that. I would go into a store and fucking buy that, and I haven't felt like that with our past releases. I haven't felt like I want to go buy that. I felt good about them, but this is the one where I'm like, fuck yeah, I would definitely purchase that.
That's like that. I mean, that's the whole reason why you keep making music, dude. That's exactly the whole reason why you make it, is because you're shooting for that feeling of, okay, this is actually something that it's not necessarily that, but it's just like, as a creative or as a musician, as an artist making shit, whatever, if we were totally satisfied with our shit, we would stop doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, there's
That's
something,
a good point.
There's a target that we're never ever going to hit.
Further.
There's a target we're never ever going to hit, and that's why we're going to keep doing this shit until we can't anymore.
Totally. Unless you can hit the first fret of the lowest string and the last fret of the highest string at the same time with one hand, then it's still more to be done.
You gotta grow that finger, dude. You gotta go that arm finger.
Yeah.
Arm finger.
A really big fucking fingernail.
I think it's fair to say we're all going to check out your album, and we're really excited to hear it when it comes out.
Oh, no doubt.
And I'll
yeah.
probably
Fuck
review
yeah.
it because I
Super
try
psyched.
to review albums these days. So I'll throw a little review on the website. That we
Oh
have.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on, man.
Oh,
we really fucking respect you guys. I think me and Luke were both a little nervous, because you guys are our heroes.
Dude, you guys are just as sick, man. What the
You
fuck?
guys have been there like since we've
From the beginning.
all those shows
Yeah,
that we've
dude.
ever
What
played,
the
like
fuck?
our beginning shows. You guys were
equals, man. It's not.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Fuck
the
yeah,
most nervous
that
I've
means
ever been in my
a lot.
life. And my most
the
nervous I've ever
truth,
played a show
man.
in life. You were playing with us. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna go. I'm at that Gaslighter show we're talking about. That show, I was fucking nervous as fuck. That was like maybe my third or fourth show with Odious, and I was completely
Damn.
yeah, I was freaked out as fuck. And
Shit.
yeah, you guys were just there. We chilled out, hung out, smoked pot, fucking drank maybe a couple alcoholic beverages.
Hell yeah.
No, it's
Man.
you guys have been pretty much through the whole
Yeah.
lineage of my playing live career, like especially in the Bay Area scene. That's like you guys have always
Fuck yeah,
been
man.
there.
I've
I mean-
always thought of you guys as friends and equals, like on that whole thing, like doing those shows back in the day. Like, so
Hell yeah, bro.
we were just like, of
Thank
course
you.
we have to have Embryonic Devourment on. We fucking did so many shows with you guys. Like,
Yeah,
we love you guys.
You respect the
Thanks,
hustle.
man.
at
We
the-
love you guys too.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Of course.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And yeah, no doubt, dude. We respect the hustle. We're still here today talking about our shit when we're talking about it then, talking about what we were doing then, and we still got the hustle, dude. So it's all good, dude.
Hell yeah, bro.
No, dude. And I'm really happy that we finally got you on, dude, because you and I have been going back and forth a little bit, Austin, about when we would get you on. This has been a kind of a long time coming, like we were still talking about it in 2020, like when we were finally get you guys on an episode. So I'm glad that
Nice.
it came to fruition, dude.
Yeah, me too, man. It's been a pleasure fucking speaking with you guys. Always a blast. And man, I hope we can play some shows together in the future and hang out in
will.
person, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
oh
dude.
yeah, hell
It
yeah.
will.
Fuck yeah.
It'll definitely happen, dude.
Back when shit opens up, dude, let's fucking have
Yep.
some beers.
We will.
Let's hang out.
Most
Would love
definitely.
to.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
We appreciate what you guys
So
are
we'll
doing.
wrap it up, dude. Let's
Yeah.
wrap it up with plug any other shit Embryonic Devourment. Where can we go get your merch and all that stuff?
Yep.
Well, you can definitely go to embryonicdevourment.com. Our Bandcamp page has stuff on there, Facebook, and
Bandcamp
I mean,
goes
that's
straight
pretty much
to you
it.
guys.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah,
Okay,
if you buy
cool.
there, it
Yeah,
goes.
go support
money
it,
goes in our
Bandcamp.
pockets.
Go support at Bandcamp for sure.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Right on, dude. And
Well, right on, guys. It's been a pleasure.
yeah,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Cali Death Podcast, fucking episode 20. I'm so stoked we're fucking here, dude. This we're creeping up on almost a half a year of this shit now. So I'm fucking stoked. CaliDeath.com. Joseph, gonna be
new blog post coming this month. Yeah, boom. I got one in the works. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So we're working that shit.
Actually. Oh, actually, hold up. Check it out.
Let's see it.
Can you read that? Yeah, I got this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
Choosing Death hardcover, dude.
Oh, damn.
It's actually, it's not hardcover, but it is the new version with 3 more chapters. So I'm going to review this. This is part of my book project is read everything that's ever been written about.
That's really super cool to see, dude, because like, I mean, you're not that much younger than me, bro, but I mean, like, I would say like I'm at the younger part of a generation. You're at the older part of a generation. So we're like, and Choosing Death was one of those books that I totally fucking, dude. Cool. And now they got a second edition out now, and the next generation's got it. And there's a physical. It's like, dude, this is actually like super.
And it looks so professional. You know, I mean, to have it look like that is insane, man. Than the old fucking zine days. You know, I mean, that's legit shit right there. Wow, incredible.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Hell yeah, dude. That was a fucking plus right there, dude. I want to check that out now. 3 more chapters.
Yeah, dude.
Is it from current shit?
I think it's like the more recent era. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
I'd read the I have a version without them, and so I am excited to get into the new.
Is that a limited edition? Is still available, or is that?
This is on bazillionbooks.com or Bazillion Points is where I ordered it from.
Nice.
Yeah, Ian Christie is the publisher, the main guy there at that book publishing company. So I'll
that's actually, I literally wanted that information just for myself. I mean, anybody else go for it, but that's for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get it. That's cool.
I love physical. I love the physical shit. And that just actually like gave me a little chubby. So
you're welcome.
Thanks, dude. Thank you for that. You give me a chubby every week, dude. CaliDeath.com, fucking Facebook, fucking YouTube,
Pornhub, TikTok,
all the hubs. Any hub you could find, you'll find us there. Yeah, dude.
Porn talk.
Spread the love, dude. Get us going, dude. We just I don't know if I said it on the last one. I don't know if we were, but 500 subscribers plus. Keep it going. Let's hear you guys talking about it. Plug that website one more time, or not website, podcast, Joseph.
Oh yeah, Nothing's for No One. Yeah, I did an interview with Jason and Bill over there, and talked about my stuff, and yeah, it was super
podcast.
Fun. So
yeah, very fun. Professional. They were fucking rad. I actually really like.
I'm gonna check that out.
Totally, dude. And it was a real. I've already listened to it, 1.5 times. I've already actually gone for a second run. Whoa. So it's like. I actually even went for another episode, the new metal episode before that episode. That was the new metal guy. So I just wanted to dive into that a little bit. Dude's talking about Slayer a little weird.
Shout out to Jason and Bill. Those dudes are fucking rad, and we'll get them here eventually.
No, I'm super down.
But it was a good listen, and we'll be digging on you. We'll be trying to pull you guys over here soon. Nothing's for no one. All right, Cali Death. We're fucking here. We're fucking coming back next week. Cheers to all you guys. That's it. Have a great week. We'll see you next one.
Fuck yeah.